श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। मीना जी, ध्यान श्लोक कर लीजिए प्लीज।
Yes, sir, please. 1 minute. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवेद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दाय तपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारतैलपूर्ण प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंस चाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोण तटा जयद्रथ जला गान्धार नीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थाम विकर्ण घोर मकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा संबोधना बोधितं लोके सज्जन षट्पदैर्हरः पेपीयमानमुदा भूयात् भारत पंकजं कपिल कलिमल परध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातम् अहं वन्दे परमानन्दं माधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः पदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः।
श्री परमात्मने नमः। So we will start with verse where we stopped. So in verse number 12, where we stopped last time, Sanjay is saying, Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavet Utyat Paduttita Yadi Bhasadrishi Sa Syad Bhasastasya Mahatmanaha. So he's saying, 1,000 suns, the splendor of 1,000 suns. So obviously this is an exaggeration in one sense. In the other sense, it is something that physically our body cannot perceive, but it is that rising of that complete immersion into the light of knowledge. So then he goes on in verse number 13, and then he says, Tatraikastham jagat kritsnam, Tatraikastham jagat kritsnam, Pravibhaktam anekadha, Pravibhaktam anekadha. Tatraikastham jagat kritsnam, Pravibhaktam anekadha, apashya deva devasya, apashya deva devasya, Sharire Pandavastada, Sharire Pandavastada, Apashyadeva Devasya, Sharire Pandavastada, Tatraikastham Jagat Kritsnam, Pravibhaktam Manekadha, Apashyadeva Devasya, Sharire Pandavastada. Tatra, there, ekastham, in one place. Jagat, this entire universe. Kritsnam, entire. Pravibhaktam, divided. Prakarshena vibhaktam, divided specifically, divided properly. Anekadha, into many. Apashyat, see, could see. Deva Devasya, the God of all gods, the Deva of all Devas. Sharire, in the body. Pandava, the Arjuna, is called Pandava here. Tada, at that time. So what is Pandava doing? What is Arjuna seeing? Arjuna is seeing the oneness and the manifold all in one place. Yes, Raghuji.
Yeah, I wanted to understand a little bit more about this depiction of Brahman as the supreme effulgence, he's brighter than 1,000 suns, and all that. Why? And it is not just here, obviously. Even in Gayatri Mantra, you are meditating on that supreme effulgence that lights the inner self. And in many other places also, it says again, effulgence. It brings this concept of light and brightness. But I do remember in Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, when he crossed, he felt he was falling into an abyss of darkness, absolute darkness, and having fallen there, he felt peace. So I'm just trying to understand this depiction. Why should it be bright or light?
Okay. So, firstly, this depiction is not of Brahman. It is of Ishvara. You have to understand that very clearly. Brahman is not describable. Ishvara is describable. However, the description is very difficult, but it is describable. Ishvara in a condensed form as Saguna Sapritikara. Sapritikara, that which I can love, becomes Radhe Krishna, becomes Sita Rama, becomes Uma Maheshwara, and so on and so forth. Ishvara in his proximity to Brahman form is what we are experiencing now through the words of Arjuna, through the words of Sanjaya. This Ishvara is describable despite the fact that it is beyond human perception to look at infinity in one go. There is an attempt here to try and do that. In the next shloka, we will see Arjuna failing with his words. When he reaches that point, he starts failing. See, I love this point. If you have ever heard Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and in the fourth movement, the pitch rises. The instruments are rising. And then, if it's a good conductor, the instruments start failing. They can't take it anymore. And the human voices take up. Right? That transition, beautiful, isn't it? That is what is happening here. That the normal perception of what we are seeing is fading. Now, whatever be our perception, it is always clouded by our existing past. As long as we are in perception, there is the past that is existing, which is clouding. Right? So why would Eckhart Tolle not see Vishnu? Because culturally, he was not there. Whereas Arjuna will see Vishnu. A Shakta will see Shakti. So the Ishvara that we see, and that is why Swami Vivekananda said, God created man, but man creates many gods. Right? Because those gods that we are creating, the form of Ishvara that we can relate to, is what we can describe, we can understand, we can feel, we can correlate to. I can only take a dip in the Arabian Sea. I have no concept of what the Pacific Ocean is. And when I see the Pacific Ocean, if I am in a small boat in the middle of Pacific Ocean, the one thing that is going to happen to me is that I'm going to feel absolutely scared. Scared of the immensity. Not about my losing my life. I'm going to be scared of that immensity. I'm going to be in awe, in wonder of that immensity. Why? Because I am still not one with it. I am not one with it. It is there and I am here. right? So you are worshipable. He's not saying, I am you. He's saying, I can see myself in you. But he's not saying, I and you are the same. Because Ishvara, Aham Ishvarosmi, is an impossible statement for any human being. So, what told describes, true for told. What Ramana Maharshi describes, true for Ramana Maharshi. What Ramakrishna Paramahamsa describes, true for him. All of that transitional phase is, you are still bound by the limitations of the body, mind, intellect, which you are transcending. As you are transcending. Now, let's take a train example. You are traveling in a train and the train starts speeding. As it speeds, what you see around you is a blur, isn't it? That blur. But that blur is conditioned by the existing, whatever is there outside. If it's a wall, you are seeing a blurred wall. If it's a set of trees, you are seeing a set of blurred trees. If it's a large green paddy field, you are seeing a blurred paddy field. If you are in a tunnel, you are seeing darkness. So your contextual, whether it is told Ramana or Ramakrishna, the context of falling through. And then what happens? Everybody describes the same thing. Ultimate peace, ultimate oneness, feeling of no transition. I am everywhere. I am at all places. I am at all times, etc., etc. That is universally true for everybody. The process of transition is different for everyone. So let us carry on here.
Also, I'm just wondering if it is also that, in that Katolis example that was given, it is to see beyond. When we say dark and light, we are still in the duality. It is Brahman is something beyond that. That which perceives something as dark and which perceives something as light. Isn't it? I mean, I don't know how to put it. So that is Brahman, no, which perceives.
So as I said, Brahman has no description.
Yeah,
it has only it has only three attributes. We know that it exists. We know that it is aware. We know that it is Ananda. Beyond that, anything that we talk about in terms of what it is all words. And the Upanishad itself says, he who knows Brahman talks not about it. He who does not know it talks much about it. Right? So we can talk about Ishvara. And that is why the Bhagavad Gita does not go into an attempt of describing Brahman. It goes to the ultimate point of describing Ishvara and then gives you the path to merge into Ishvara and saying, Ishvara and I have become one. I am now, Ishvara is Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahmasmi. That is what we will do in the last part of the Bhagavad Gita. So to carry on, he says, Apashya deva devasya sharire pandavastada. So he says that in one place, in one spot, I can see both the multitude as well as I can see the microcosm and I can see the macrocosm. Now, Gurudev uses a beautiful chemistry example here. He says that an advanced chemist who has experienced the atomic nature of the entire cosmos, for him, when you put some salt and some sugar together on the table, he can now, because of his experience of atoms, he can perceive both the atomic structure of both the salt and the sugar, and yet can see both salt and sugar also separately. But that can only happen if I have understood and perceived the atomic structure. But can I see the atomic structure with my naked eyes? That is not possible. So you need an electron microscope, which will show you that all the three, they have basic atoms, they have basic elements, and then those elements themselves are divided into only three components. Right? Protons, neutrons, electrons. And then if you go into now, suddenly the entire chapter of chemistry has become a chapter of physics. And the protons, electrons, neutrons have started giving up some hadrons and whatever, and all of that has started. The whole process. Can you see beautifully how Gurudev puts it very nicely and says that even these sciences have also got all sciences in one table, and yet they are all different. And I'm seeing them in one place. And when I'm seeing them in one place, I am getting, let us see what Arjuna says in the next sloka. So he continues, Sanjay continues, Tata sa vismaya vishto, Tata sa vismaya vishto, Hrishtaro Dhananjayah, Hrishtaro Dhananjayah, Pranamya Shirasa Devam, Pranamya Shirasa Devam, Kritanjalira Bhashata, Kritanjalira Bhashata, Pranamya Shirasa Devam, Kritanjalira Bhashata, Tatas Vismaya Vishto, Rishtaro Dhananjayah, Pranamya Shirasa Devam, Kritanjalira Bhashata. So here this is very simple. It says that then Arjun full of wonder, Vismaya Avishta. Vismaya is full of wonder. Vismaya, Avishta, completely full of wonder. Vismaya is wonder, Avishta is full of. Rishta Roma. Rishta means standing. Rishta Roma, all the hair standing on end. Dhananjaya, Arjun, Pranamya Shirasa, bowing down with his head. Devam, to the Lord. Kritanjali, Krita Anjali, Anjali Mudra. This is the Namaskar Mudra. In most books, you will find as they depict this, they show this to be the Mudra that is being shown by Arjun. Arjun is not doing Namaskar Mudra. This is called the Namana Mudra. Anjali Mudra is this. So he is actually begging. He is sitting there begging. He has understood the smallness of his own nature, and he has put his hands into the Anjali Mudra, and he has bowed his head. And now what does he say? Verse number 15. Arjuna uvacha pashyami devastava deha deva dehe pashyami devamstava deva dehe sarvamstatha bhuta vishesha sanghan sarvamstatha bhuta vishesha sanghan Vashyami devamstava deva dehe sarvamstatha bhuta vishesha sanghan brahmanamisham kamalasanastham brahmanamisham kamalasanastham rishimscha sarvanuragamscha divyan rishimscha sarvanuragamscha divyan Brahmanamisham Kamalasanastham Rishimscha Sarvanuragamscha Divyan Arjuna Uvacha Pashyami Devamstava Deva Dehe Sarvamstatha Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan Brahmanamisham Kamalasanastham Rishimscha sarvanuragamscha divyan. I'm going to do the next verse also, and then we will look at the two verses together, 16 and 17. Kiritinam gadinam chakrinam cha Kiritinam gadinam chakrinam cha Tejo rashim sarvato diptimantam.
Sir, one verse missed out. Aneka bahu.
Oh, sorry.
Vaktara netram.
No, sorry. 15 and 16. 15, 16, 17 we'll put together. 16. Aneka bahu rudara vatra netram. Aneka bahu rudara vatra netram. Pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam. Pashyami tvam sarvonantarupam. Nantam na madhyam na punastavadim. Nantam na madhyam na punastavadim. Pashyami Vishweshwara Vishwarupa. Pashyami Vishweshwara Vishwarupa. Nantam na madhyam na punastavadim. Pashyami Vishweshwara Vishwarupa. अनेकबाहुरुदरवक्त्रनेत्रम् पश्यामि त्वां सर्वतोऽनन्तरूपम् नान्तं न मध्यं न पुनस्तवादिं पश्यामि विश्वेश्वरं विश्वरूप किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजोराशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तं तेजोराशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तं किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजोराशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तं पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्षं पश्यामि त्वं दुर्निरीक्ष्यं समन्तात् पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्ष्यं समन्तात् दीप्तानलार्कद्युतिमप्रमेयम् दीप्तानलार्कद्युतिमप्रमेयम् पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्ष्यं समन्तात् दीप्तानलार्कद्युतिमप्रमेयम् किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजोराशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तं पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्ष्यं समन्तात् दीप्तानुलर्काद्युतिमप्रमेयम् 15, 16, 17. I will give the word meanings first. Pashyami, I can see. Deva, Devan, all the devas. Tava Deva Dehe, your divine being within your body. Dev, I can see all the devas within your. Here, the word two devas will mean differently. The first deva is all the devas that we have talked about, right? The Indra, etc., etc. And the second deva is the shining. Diva, the word diva here means shining. So, in your shining body, sarvam statham, sarvam, all, tatha, as well as bhuta vishesha sanghan, all the bhuta, all the different types of beings. Anything that has consciousness or unconscious is not conscious. All the things that are made out of these five elements, I can see all of them. Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan, all hosts of them. Brahmanam, I can see Brahma. I can see Ishana. Isham. Ishana is Shiva. Kamala Sanastham, seated on a lotus flower. Here, multiple meanings have come from various people. The one is that Brahma and Shiva are sitting on lotus flowers, representing the two eyes or the two chests on the chests of the Lord. Gurudev puts it as saying that Kamalasanastham is also one of the meanings of he who sits in the heart of Kamala, which is Lakshmi. So here is saying, indicating that Vishnu is also over here. So Brahmanam Ishan Kamalasanastham, Rishis cha Sarvan, Rishi is all the sages, cha and Sarvan, all the Uragan. Uragan is the serpents. Uragans cha Divyan, all the divine serpents. I can see all of that. Then he goes on and says, Aneka Bahu, many hands, Udara, stomach, Aneka Vaktra, right, faces, Aneka Netra, on many eyes, Pashyami, I can see, Tvam, Sarvatom, and right, in Sarvataha, in every direction, in Sarvataha, Ananta Rupam, infinite forms. Na Antam, I can't see the end. Na Madhyam, I can't see the beginning. Na Punah, neither again can I see Tava, your Adim, can I see your beginning. Pashyami, Vishweshwara, Vishwarupa. This, oh, your Lord, is your universal form. I can see that. I am seeing this immensity. Think of yourself in the middle of a small raft, alone, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. To the horizon, there is the Pacific Ocean in every direction that you see. And the merging of the Pacific Ocean with the horizon, it seems that the sky that is covered in you is also nothing but the Pacific Ocean. And it is the sky which is cloudless sky completely, and there is this completely still ocean, and you are covered in that. Can you see the beginning? No, you can't see the beginning, the middle, the end. Wherever you are is the center, and around you is everything. Sarvato mukham, anantam, anadim, amadhyam, and that is where you are. That is what he is describing. Then he goes on in the next verse to explain further, to say, oh, I can see Kiritinam, I can see you crowned. I am seeing you holding a gada. Kadinam, Chakrinam, I am seeing you hold a chakra. Tejo Rashim, Tejo Rashim. Rashi is the rays. Tejo Rashim, lights, splendor of lights, the rays spreading from your body. Sarvato, everywhere. Deepti Mantam, shining. Pashyami Tvam, I can see you. Turniriksham, difficult to look on. Samantat, in all directions. Deepta Anala, Deepta is blazing fire. Deepta Anala, blazing fire. Like the sun, Arka. Dyutim, effulgent. Aprameyam, immeasurable. I can't describe it. Now, I'm going to give you homework. And the homework is these three verses. I want you to do Manan. And in our next session, what I want you to do is to describe or your understanding of what is happening at this point of time. Firstly, I want you to do this Manan in terms of trying to, it's not possible physically to do for us to do that, not very easy, but try to do it. Try and put yourself into where Arjuna is. And try and visualize what you are seeing, what he is seeing. I gave you a small example of trying to be in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Use that as a sort of prop, as a sort of tool to help you to imagine this immensity. And try and be in that immensity for a few fractions of a second. And then come back to the shloka. Then go back again into this particular, try and do this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And try and note down your experience. Note down what you are experiencing when you are doing this exercise. And let us share this in our next session. For me, today, I had to recite these three verses, I think around 15, 20 times before I could do them with you without stopping or getting choked up. Very difficult for me normally. It's whenever I start this, if I suddenly jump into this chapter, both chapter 10 and chapter 11, is very difficult for me to actually do classes on them, because while I'm reading, I go to some other place. So this today I had to it's called immunizing oneself. So I had to do COVID ka tika. So I had to do that 15, 20 times before I could be able to chant this without getting completely silent. So I want you to see if you can feel that immensity even for a fraction of a second. Just use these three verses, see what Arjuna is saying, try and see what Arjuna is saying, and share your experiences for the next session. It's a very powerful tool. Use this as a part of the dhyana that you are doing in your normal day. If you are you're doing your dhyana, you're doing 45 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, doesn't matter. And that's the time when I would expect you to do this and see if that works. So first, still your mind before you start off. First, sit down, do your Soham breathing, calm yourself, think, get your thoughts all in one place. Then open the book and just read one line, look at the meaning, understand the explanation, and just go back into the visualization. Right. Anything else? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Harihi Om.